first string. Let's put some respect on his name. He's been the man after Body goes down, and he's come in. He's going to keep it simple. Not a lot of passing. Protect the football, run the offense.
Now, when you look at the both head coaches, you've got Coach Eddie Robinson Jr., the former NFL player, SWAC Hall of Famer, and of course, he is SWAC. We just want to get a W today.
His third season here. When you say who is SWAC, who do you think of? He coined it, Eddie Robinson Jr.
On the other side, we've got Coach James Cozy III, first year as the head man, but he's not unfamiliar to this program.
No, some continuity taking over for Willie Simmons, who left after the Celebration Bowl win. Look, a lot of movement on that roster, but he's holding things together. They are still a team to beat in the SWAC going into their fifth game.
All right, these two teams used to play each other a lot in the SIAC. Then FAM went over to the MEAC. But right now, the series history is tied at 20, 20, and 2 ties. Last time they met, FAMU won 23-10.
FAMU's riding that streak. They've won the last 4 matchups. Mo Kata, it is homecoming.
It is homecoming here in the Gump, and we've got the kickoff, and we are underway here in the capital city of Alabama. And FAMU already on the long kickoff return, and how about that right there? Great kickoff return for Florida A&M. That is number 85 for Florida A&M, and Robert Lockhart coming through for FAMU. And Tolly, they're going to start on Alabama State's side of the football field.
Yeah, and they're not able to lock up Lockhart on that kickoff. A little arm tackle by the shoulder pad, and he just shrugged that off. Positive return. This is a good start here for FAMU.
All right, looks like they're going to actually walk this back, so clearly he must have stepped out of bounds a few yards prior to that. Here's a look at Daniel Richardson, the grad transfer, of course, 987 yards on the season. He's one of the top passers in the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Alabama State, a little 4-3 defense to open it up, and that gap closes quickly with the tackle there.
Absolutely. Of course, these two teams, defensive-minded head coaches. So, yeah, would not be surprised if, a lot of points are not scored in this one, Tolly.
Points at a premium, Mo. But we talked to both coaches earlier in the week, and they said the key to winning, and it sounds like coaches speak, got to run the ball, got to be able to stop the run. So far, FAMU opening up with the run.
Second down for the Rattlers. Here's the quick throw out. Pass is caught by number 2. That is Jamari Gassett, one of the top receivers for Florida A&M. Tyler, let's take a look at today's keys to the game, which are brought to you by GM.
Yeah, Mo, when you think about this, for FAMU, you want to score early. You want to put Alabama State in a position where they have to throw the ball, rush their offense. And for Alabama State, you don't want that to happen because you want to be able to run the ball and control the clock because FAMU does have the big play potential in the passing game, more so than Alabama State.
And those were the keys to the game, brought to you by GM.
That previous play, just a little quick out route in the flat, taking up the space given by the defender, and FAMU runs the ball here, almost just a couple yards shy of a first down here.
So if you're Alabama State, Tolly, clearly you got to fight not only Florida A&M's offense, but you got to battle this heat today because we are in the heat of the day, about 90 degrees at kickoff.
Mo, I left Atlanta. It felt like a nice spring, fall type morning. I got out of the car here in Montgomery, and I said to myself, it is hot out here.
Absolutely. 4th down and short coming up right now. The FAMU offense is going to remain on the field. They're coming quickly out of the huddle. Richardson under the center. And it's going to be a play action. Richardson with all the time in the world. He's going to throw it deep down the field, and it falls incomplete. Just out of the stretch of his wide receiver. Richardson throwing it into the land of not one, but 2 Alabama State defenders.
Yeah, good double coverage there by Alabama State. They didn't fall for the play action. It was sold pretty good there. See, Richardson dips the ball and right down the seam, but the cornerback the safety actually looks back, spots the ball, good recognition, breaks up that completion. Good defense by Alabama State.
The Amon Scarborough at defensive back in coverage right there. So With that being said, turnover on downs. Alabama State will now take over. There's a look now at their freshman quarterback, Zach Sims. He's from Alabaster, Alabama, right up the road, played at Thompson High School.
You know, right there knocking on 50% passing, 184 yards on the season. So he's not going to give you a lot per game. But look, you're going to see a lot of run from Alabama State, and they start right here.
Absolutely. And Alabama State bounces it outside and out of bounds right there. First down, though, for Alabama State into Florida A&M territory. Let's take another look at that one, Dolly.
All right, so you want to seal the edge, and you get those linemen out there, get it out into the perimeter. You see the wide receivers blocking downfield. Easy first down for Alabama State.
Alabama State now first down and 10, ball resting right around the 32-yard line of Florida A&M. Sims in the shotgun. He's got a man coming in motion. And he's got the play action. Can't find anyone. He's going to now take off around that left side. He's got some yardage. He's going to get out of bounds. Picks up about 7 or 8 yards on the play.
And Sims had the receiver run the post there from the left side. He got open with the other receiver going in motion. It drew the defense away. But Sims decided against throwing it on that post route and runs it instead. And, you know, it's better to not make a bad decision.
Now let's take a look at today's Impact Players, brought to you by GM. And we'll do it right after this play right here, as it's a tackle for a loss on the play. All right, who we got for the Impact Players, Tolly?
Well, you take a look on offense. It's Daniel Richardson, obviously, the quarterback for FAMU. James Ash on defense. I asked Coach Colsey if somebody's going to hear, if we're going to hear someone's name a lot, knowing that you stopped the run for Alabama State, it would be James Ash. And then for FAMU, those are our impact players of the game. And for Alabama State, you know Sims has got to get it done.
Sims sitting back in the shotgun on third down. Steps back to pass, throws it to the outside, and he and his wide receiver were not on the same page.
Yeah, he thought the wide receivers were going to cut out. Wide receiver cut in, was actually open as he cut in. But just a little miscommunication there, and that's what you talk about, Mo. When you have a young quarterback, you want to put him in positions, if you're the FAMU defense, where he has to make decisions, and things got a little sped up for him there. Made the wrong call.
Bakari Daly was the intended wide receiver on that play, so that will bring up a fourth down and a field goal attempt coming up for Alabama State. Here's the kick. It is up. And it is no good. Sails wide right.
Well, Mo, it was a good position for Alabama State, but didn't hit.
We'll be right back with more SWAC football on ESPN.
On that pass on fourth down. We'll see what they have dialed up here on their second possession.
FAMU first down and 10. Daniel Richardson with 3 wide receivers. He's going to hand it off to his running back, and nothing doing. May have got a yard on that play.
Well, this Alabama State defense, known for their ability to cause havoc, open up about a yard there, running it to the outside on the left side of that line, but the gap quickly closed. That Alabama State defensive line doing their job, rushing 4 up front, 3 linebackers there, and playing man on the outside. And again, there it is, the penetration, stopping the run, Mo.
Once again, Rico Dozier getting back-to-back tackles on this play. Of course, people have heard Dozier's name for a number of years, and of course throughout the entire season. And he's going to, get a quick breather right now as he goes to the sideline, getting ready for 3rd and long with Florida A&M.
Well, that sun, look, it's going to beat on you. We're here in Alabama. It's October. Alabama State in the all-black. You're working hard. You're going to need a breather. The big guys up front. But so far, they've been doing their job. FAMU not able to establish anything on the ground here early.
3rd down coming up for Florida A&M. Trips to the near side. Here's Daniel Richardson rolling out. Throws, and the pass is caught by his wide receiver on the sideline, and it should be enough for a first down pass caught by none other than Jamari Gaston.
And Gaston is, look, he's the man. He's the number 1 receiver for FAMU, and you see him here as Richardson rolls out. He gets behind the linebacker and gets the feet in, gets settled, clearly in bounds. That's going to move the sticks.
First down and 10 coming up for Florida A&M. Of course, Florida A&M was supposed to play their first SWAC game last week against Alabama A&M, but Hurricane Helene made things difficult and decided to postpone that game. That was a decision made by both schools. Here's a deep pass by Richardson, overthrown. Will bring up second down.
Well, speaking of postpone, that was the skinny post route there. And the timing off. It's better that it was overthrown than underthrown. What you see here on the outside, a little play action. Receivers on the hash, cuts in on that skinny post, but again, double coverage back there locking up. FAMU receiver.
Solid protection up front by Florida A&M as well. The bunch that Coach Cozy calls the eat first guys.
You don't want to be behind them at the buffet.
Absolutely not. Just wait your turn.
You might get some string beans left over.
Here's Richardson, the quick toss over the middle. It is caught by Marquez Bell. He'll pick up about 5 yards on the play.
So Bell's going to get you halfway there. Just a little curl right over the middle on that.
Dwight Jacobs with the tackle.
If they can't establish anything on the run game, some of these short passing routes might be efficiently what their run game is going to be here early on for FAMU.
Third down coming up as we look across the new ASU Stadium. A lot of fans still starting to pile in.
How many years will it still be the new ASU Stadium?
That's a good question.
It's still very nice.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
But what's the time frame on new?
Very good question. I'll have to ask Coach Robertson and the administrative staff very, very soon. Here's a kick out in the flats, and Florida A&M will pick up another first down.
And that play, the reason it works is, look, you get the pressure coming from Alabama State, and wide receiver just a little chip block, and he gets out there, and he goes to where the defensive lineman used to be. And he has lots of space and green grass.
That's Thad Franklin, the running back, slipping out of the backfield after, made the little chip block that you said. And now has Florida A&M in Alabama State territory. 30 yards on the pickup.
Good play call against the pressure that was coming from Alabama State there by FAMU.
First down and 10 for FAM. Trips to the near side. Here's Richardson rolling out, and he's got a wide-open receiver across the middle, and it is caught once again. And guess who? Mr. Jamari Gassett. Caleb Alford coming up with the tackle.
Well, we do have a flag on the play, Mo, but you see here, Gassett across the middle, and he's just going to get right behind those linebackers between the safeties, and he's open, but it's all for naught, Mo.
So following that penalty, they'll replay a first down. Our top referee today is Mr. Tony Ross. Hopefully we don't have to hear from him a lot today, but we all know how things can go.
Well, if you're out there in that sunshine, I'm sure you want that clock to move as fast as it can. Not that you're not enjoying yourself, but, well, if you're on the FAMU side, great day for a tan, Mo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, especially if you're the FAMU Marching 100 as well. Here's Richardson with all sorts of time. He's going to dump it off in the flats. Ball is caught. And the Rattlers will pick up another first down.
And that's the thing about Richardson. Because of his arm, his ability to be an accurate passer downfield, the Alabama State defense has to honor that. But so far, once again, you're getting a running back out of the backfield. Little chip block, and he gets out there in the flat, picks up positive yardage for the first down. So you can't let Richardson beat you deep, but some of the short routes right now are that death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Kelvin Dean with the reception. Scarborough coming up with the tackle.
Alabama State has been very stout against the run game. FAMU hasn't picked up any big chunky yardage yet, but the short passing game has been the most effective part of the offense so far for FAMU.
DeMarcus Cunningham coming up with that last tackle on the play brings a second down for the Rattlers as they are getting very close to the red zone. Approaching the 6-minute mark here in the first quarter. We're live in Montgomery, Alabama. SWAC opener for Florida A&M. Second SWAC game for Alabama State.
Nice FAMU crowd here as a homecoming. Still a lot of people.
Here's the end around going to Jamari Gassett, and Gassett will pick up enough yardage for a first down. They'll move those chains.
All right, so this is going to shrink the field, Mo. Running, the ability to run the ball is going to be a premium here. You just see right in motion, gets the handoff, and he's out on the edge. See the missed tackle there, and picks up that crucial first down. So, and is outside of the 10-yard line, so you could still get another first down here and have a goal to go. You don't have to score a touchdown on these four.
When we talked to Coach Eddie Robinson Jr., he basically said they know they want to get the ball to gas it. They just have to find a way to defend him, contain him, do everything else you can, and keep him out of the end zone. Florida A&M knows what they want to do with them. They're trying to get him to the ball as many times as possible. Here's Richardson back to pass. He's going to throw it in the end zone. And what? Oh, almost an incredible grab. It was dropped in the end zone right there. Broken up by Scarborough. The intended receiver was Carter Johnson, number 8.
Perfect play call, perfect execution by the quarterback. Mo, you have to catch that.
Absolutely. You got to bring it all the way down.
It was his body coming down, and as his back hit, the ball just bounced off his ribs there, and it goes out of bounds. That's a hard one to swallow if they do not end up with a touchdown here on this series.
Scarborough was draped all over him, but at the same time, Johnson did have a chance to haul that in. Here's a handoff around the right side, and positive yards to be picked up for for Florida A&M on that play. That'll be number 9. That'll be Kelvin Dean Jr.
That's probably one of the better runs for FAMU here today so far. A lot of it has been stuffed at the line, but Dean Jr. gets that hole, gets out to the right side, makes the defender miss.
Speaking of juniors, about Cornell Harris Jr. coming up with the tackle. Potential touchdown saving tackle.
FAMU not scoring a rushing touchdown all season long.
No rushing touchdowns for FAMU. No defensive turnovers for FAMU either.
Well, that's a hard one to understand.
And here's a touchdown pass right there by Richardson across the middle. And he's got Ace Cobb for the first score of the day.
Well, not a rushing touchdown, but it is through the air, and FAMU will take it. That was a very well orchestrated and sustained drive by the Rattlers. They are the first to get on the scoreboard here at Alabama State's homecoming. It has the margin 100 feeling pretty good down in that end zone section.
Glad you made mention of the FAMU margin 100. Yes, that is the first time we are hearing from them today following this touchdown. Here's the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So with 4:12 to go in the first quarter, Florida A&M.
It's boomerang, man.
Yes.
Gotta coordinate.
Here's the kickoff by Alabama State.
I get older every day, Mo. Every day.
We'll talk about that in just a moment.
We don't have to.
As a swarm of Hornets are there to tackle the FAMU kick returner. That's Goldie Lawrence. But we've got a late flag on the play.
One extra push there, and I think that's going to go against Alabama State. But sometimes it's the reaction that gets called. All right, so it wasn't. It actually goes against FAMU. There was a little pushing after the fact from Alabama State, but they caught the initial aggressor on that. So that's going to take not so great field position and make it even worse. So if FAMU's got something in their tank, it's going to take them about 94 yards here.
Absolutely, that penalty was on number 13 for Florida A&M, Goldie Lawrence. So Daniel Richardson, literally, he's got a shadow in the back of the end zone, and the ball is tipped around and almost intercepted by Alabama State. Oh, what that would have been right there. Had big number 0, Rico Dozier, able to haul that in off that tip.
Man, that would have set this homecoming crowd on fire. And you see here just something out of the short passing game, a little bit behind the receiver, bobbles it 2 or 3 times. Alabama State not able to come away with it. Johnson lucky on that play, but the pass was a bit behind.
And Dozier was reading his keys. He was trying to make the stop. He didn't realize that the ball would still be tipped around until it was about 6 inches away from the turf.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Here's Richardson, and the handoff goes to his running back, and that is Levante Somerset. And Somerset picks up big yardage for the Rattlers, and they'll pick up a first down on the play. Tackle made by DeMarcus Cunningham.
We're going to call that the best run of the day for Alabama State. You see the hole right there. He could have driven a truck through it, and he gets out there. Second level of the defense, and that's enough for the first down. Good job by the O-line.
Florida A&M now has the ball resting on their own 22-yard line.
So back in that traditional field position at the 20-yard line with the first down, so they overcome the penalty.
Here's Richardson with all sorts of time, and then he runs out of time and fumbles. Alabama State appears to recover it.
No, they're going to take away that excitement mode, down by contact, but that was a good coverage sack there. Alabama State covering the receivers downfield. Richardson nowhere to go. Tries to scramble a little bit here. You see, doesn't have anything on his reads, and a good strip right there, but they're going to say he was down, but we might get.
Traycon Thomas was the one who punched the ball out. The apparent recovery looked like it was made by DeMarcus Cunningham. They just showed a replay on the big video board, and looks like we're going to get a challenge.
Yeah, that replay comes up before the snap, and you could hear the reaction from the crowd, the players, everybody said, let's take a look at that. We don't think he was down by contact. So the officials are going to check out the replay, and they're going to come back with the decision. Mo, this would be a gift for Alabama State.
Let's take a look at this once again as we see Richardson trying to get out of dodge, and a few hands get on.
Yeah, no, he's not down. It's not even close.
Absolutely.
I believe that ball. I didn't bring my glasses today, but that ball looked like it was out of there.
And it looks like Jakeem Fletcher was on the backside, who was actually the first one to kind of waggle that ball out of the clutches of Richardson.
And if you're Richardson, you've got to protect that ball. We're going to take a look from another angle here. The ball is moving. Oh, no. That's going to be Alabama State ball.
Richardson and Thomas combining to get the strip. And if this call is overturned, the fumble recovery will go to number 6, DeMarcus Cunningham.
If it's not overturned, they're going to turn over some furniture here at the new ASU Stadium because that was clearly a fumble. And for Richardson, that's a wasted play. You got to protect that ball, get down. He wasn't going to pick up any significant yardage there. You could appreciate the effort, but ball security that far on the opponent's side of the field has to be a premium.
And thanks to this wonderful stoppage of play because of replay, we now get a band battle.
Oh, we're just getting started here.
Oh, absolutely.
We're just getting started. The mighty Marching Hornets, the 100, they're going to go at halftime, fifth quarter. They already went at it 0 quarter.
And they figured if there's no action on the field, why not have some action in the stands?
But that's what they're here for. That is the job. Marching 100, an attraction everywhere they go. Before each game, a lot of the talk on social media is the Marching 100 coming? Will they travel? Will they be at the game? That is the question that people want to know. We at least have the answer today, and they are in Montgomery for homecoming.
And, of course, for many that do not know, the distance between Tallahassee and Alabama State is a fairly short one when it comes to these two teams actually being the closest to one another.
All right, so no surprise there on the call. They did take their time. You only needed to see that one time. That was as easy of a fumble and overturned call as you could make. So Alabama State with a gift. This is going to put the pressure on that FAMU defense now. They're back almost to the end zone, just outside of the red zone at the 25-yard line.
And there's DeMarcus Cunningham, who came up with the fumble recovery. Take a look at the Black Swarm defense and all their rankings in the SWAC. Are you surprised?
Number 1, scoring defense. Number 1, rush defense. Fourth down defense. Red zone defense. They don't mess around.
And, of course, their head coach was one of the best to ever play.
right, so they're going to mark it back here.
Mark it back to the 30-yard line. That's what Zach Sims and company will start first down and 10. Great field position for Alabama State with an opportunity to potentially go ahead.
I think it was a penalty on Alabama State, so they backed them up 5 yards. So it's going to be first and 15.
And here's Hoslaw right up the middle and picks up a whole lot of yardage to almost make that penalty look like it was negated anyway.
Well, it's going to be about 2nd and 1 now after that. But again, that Alabama State offensive line, see them put in the work here. And again, just the hole wide open and gets through there, gets the second level. That FAMU defense nearly a first down.
Braylon Oliver coming up with the tackle for Florida A&M. Here's Alabama State now with a shift. And they'll hand it off to Hoslaw, and he is met by a host of Rattlers. May have got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Had that bunch of receivers, that bunch formation there on the right, and they were looking to get downfield and do some blocking, but Alabama State's on that play not able to get to that second level of the FAMU defense.
You saw Eric Horn. He was the first one to put a lick on Hoslaw to stop forward progress there. Brings up 3rd and short for Alabama State.
And that's going to be key for FAMU to stop this Alabama State defense. That defensive line is going to have to get the pressure, and they get the job there on the edge. They get it done.
Absolutely. Hoslaw tries to go around the left side. Davian Westmoreland taking him down for a loss, and all of a sudden it is now 4th down for Alabama State.
And you look at Westmoreland here. Easy tackle for him. Shedding off those blocks, getting to the outside. And we're going to see now, Mo, if Alabama State hit the second time around, will be a little better on their field goal attempt. First one went wide right, a little closer this time.
And we've got a timeout by Alabama State. Oh, Florida A&M. Correction.
Maybe just trying to let the kicker think about that last field goal that was missed here. And if they can come away with not allowing Alabama State to score here, if they can't connect on this field goal, that'll be a testament to the FAMU defense, who they were put in a bad position after that fumble by the offense.
Yes, sir. So it'll be about a 35-yard field goal attempt coming up by Brandon Gillen. He was the SWAC Special Teams Player of the Week for September 29th. He booted in 4 field goals last week against Bethune-Cookman.
So missing the first here this week, but you see the accuracy that he has displayed in the past, and very makeable field goal here from the left hash.
So of course, Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. not afraid to call this young man's number. Came up huge, as we mentioned, last week against Florida A&M's arch rival of Bethune-Cookman. A very physical game.
See the camera angle here, Mo. We're going to know. Can he get it up to the box lens here?
Here's the kick, and it is wide left. No good.
So maybe a good job on icing. Good timeout there by Colsey, and a great stand by that FAMU defense after the turnover deep in their own territory.
Coach Colsey and company definitely feeling good about not allowing any sort of points following the turnover on their previous possession.
All right, so lesson learned on ball security. Doesn't come back to bite FAMU. And what we've seen so far, Mo, from this FAMU offense, they've had a couple of big runs, but really the short and intermediate passing routes have been the go-to for FAMU. Haven't hit anything really far down the field with Cassette yet. Richardson has that capability, but so far it's been the short and intermediate routes that have had success for the Rattlers offense.
Here comes Daniel Richardson leading the offense back on the field. He's got twins to the top, twins to the bottom. Back goes in motion, and Richardson's going to go to work, and his pass is complete to the far side of the field. That will be Ace Cobb coming up with the reception. Twilly Levette coming up with the tackle.
Again, on the outside, a lot of space between Cobb and the corner. He just runs a little quick out to the flat, takes advantage of that space. Richardson there to quickly deliver the ball, and they move it up. Nice positive gain on first down.
See if Fam will get off and play before the end of the first quarter. Time winding down. The answer is no. We've played one here in Montgomery.
It's a top 20, top 15 quarterback in all of FCS in a lot of those categories.
Richardson will hand it off to his running back. He's got some room before being knocked out of bounds.
FAMU utilizing that play action. It just gets a little, keeping Alabama State on their heels because they've used the play action throughout the game, and that time handing it off and bouncing out to the outside for a positive pickup.
That was Levante Somerset picking up positive yards for Florida A&M, and they'll move the chains on that one. Scarborough making another tackle from out of the Alabama State backfield, defensive backfield.
Yeah, when you can pass the ball and you use that play action throughout, when you actually do hand off the ball, you have to keep that defense honest and catch them off guard.
Here's a quick wide receiver screen going over to Quan Lee, and Lee is going to pick up a solid yardage. He'll be knocked out of bounds by Keen Lewis.
Yeah, and you see how, Mo, these passing yards can, quickly add up. Again, less than 2 seconds in the hands of Richardson, gets it out, and you just get 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, and that starts to add up throughout the afternoon.
Look, when we were talking to Coach Posey earlier in this week, he made something known to us that really kind of made me raise an eyebrow. He was like, yeah, remember, Richardson came in late as a transfer, so these first few games, they've still been working on chemistry, and when you look at the yardage, you'd have to almost think that's not even the case, as Richardson tries to pick up a few yards, but he is knocked down in the open field by Dwight Jacobs.
So FAMU rolling that pocket out to the right, and really, if Richardson would have cut back on the left, there was a big hole right there. He could have picked up significant more yardage, but he kept it here to the near side. Still positive yardage, but there was potential for more had he cut back to that hole that was on his left side.
Second down coming up for Florida A&M. They're near the midfield stripe. Almost 13 minutes to go in the second quarter. We are knotted at 7 apiece here in Montgomery, Alabama. Here is the handoff and a good run right up the middle for Florida A&M. That is number 23. That is Thad Franklin Jr.
FAMU starting to gain momentum in that running game. They were getting stuffed at the defensive line, and it looked like the Alabama State defense was a little confused right before the snap there. Not sure if everybody was in their right position, but FAMU was able to take advantage of that.
Rudy Jean-Louis coming up with the shoestring tackle. There you see Coach James Cozy. Very, very familiar to the city of Tallahassee. Played his college ball right down the road from FAMU at Florida State University.
Hey, but FAMU's the number 1 team in Tallahassee this year.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
Almost the first down. I think it's going to be about a yard shot.
Thad Franklin Jr. once again coming up with the impressive run. Cunningham coming up with the tackle.
So FAMU threw us for a curve early. They went for that long post route there on 4th down and had a couple of long throws. But since then, Mo, they have really dialed it back. Run game, short, intermediate routes in the passing game. But at some point, they're going to catch that Alabama, or they will hope to catch that Alabama State defense sleeping on something long down the field.
Here's a man in motion. The handoff once again goes to Franklin, and looks like he's going to have enough yardage to pick up a first down and move the sticks.
A lot like that first scoring drive by FAMU. You just keep chipping away, eating up that clock. We talked about the keys of the game early. It would be to their advantage if they could put some points up early and quickly to try to force Alabama State to speed up their offense. But so far, it's been more of a knockdown, drag-out attack by both teams.
Florida A&M's first scoring drive went 6 minutes and 42 seconds. Alabama State scoring drive, 48 seconds.
Just that one big run.
Absolutely. Here's Richardson throwing it up under pressure, and he just throws it out of bounds. Second down coming up.
And Richardson looking face-to-face to that defensive end. It would have been interesting to see if maybe he thought about just tucking the ball here and see if he could outrun him to that edge. There was no one else out there, but he was intent on getting that ball released. He didn't want any of the smoke from the DN.
Big number 99, Elijah Elmore, putting the pressure on Richardson. Second down coming up for Florida A&M. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, this is FAMU's first SWAC game of the season. Last week's game against Alabama A&M postponed until Thanksgiving weekend due to Hurricane Helene.
Well, Mo, you're going to have to hurry up and eat your turkey and get down there and check that one out.
Here's the swing out pass on the wide receiver screen over to Gassett, and Gassett will be knocked out of bounds. No, you're absolutely right about that Thanksgiving situation. But because that game was moved to Thanksgiving weekend, now the SWAC has 3 games on back-to-back-to-back days that will be featured. Turkey Day Classic right here on Thanksgiving Day between Alabama State and Tuskegee. Then you'll have Alabama A&M taking on Florida A&M on that 29th. And then over in New Orleans, the Bayou Classic, Southern University against Grambling State. There's still a lot of football left to be played, so I'm not about to sit here and say, oh, it could be for the West, but we know what has happened in the past with that game many times when it comes to that division.
It will dictate someone's future, the outcome of the Bayou. That has been how we've been rolling the last couple of years.
Third down and 7. Richardson rolls out and throws it down the field. Ball intended for Gassett.
There's a flag.
There is a flag.
I would not be surprised if that's holding because of the amount of time Richardson had in that pocket.
Now, at the moment, James Burgess is doing a little celebrating. All right, so it's holding on Florida A&M. First down, Alabama State. Montgomery, Alabama State with the ball. And this year, they have literally been just grounding and pounding with the rushing attack. Look at some of these rushing yardage numbers from the previous couple of weeks. And they already got 138 today, Tolly.
And Mo, let the people at home know how many passing yards Alabama State has today.
As of now, they have 0.
We told you. They're going to run the ball a lot.
Yes, they will. And Hoslaw will get the handoff right here. Slips a few defenders, cuts it back, and picks up about 3 yards on the play.
Well, after 4 consecutive runs to the left side, they come back after that injury timeout, and they get something on the right, and a little bit of a scat back movement over there, and now they got the ball back center of the field here.
Eric Horn coming up with that last tackle for Florida A&M. Here's another handoff to Hoslaw. He slips a few defenders and pick up positive yards, but there's a late flag coming in on the play.
And you can tell from the reaction of FAMU that it's going to be against them, it appears, as the hands are thrown up. Not sure if it's going to be we'll find out right here.
So they're calling Corey Collier Jr. for potential targeting. He's a Nebraska transfer from Miami.
All right, so the thing with targeting, Mo, you want to look and see if it's the top of the helmet that comes in. Get that head-to-head contact, and it's really the position. And we see sometimes these things, can be ruled as intentional. Sometimes you can just slide into it.
Let's take a look.
It's hard to tell from that angle. Take a look from another angle, Bo, here. See if he hits him with the top, the crown of that helmet. But, a lot of times, Bo, we see a defender going in, and it might be what appears to be a tackle to the chest is the intent, upper body, and sometimes the running back just gets low right at the last second, and you end up hitting helmet to helmet. Kind of hard to make a definitive conclusion from that angle there.
Absolutely, but your explanation just now kind of sums up what I think we just saw.
If you're going to commit, like the defender has to commit first. Like the offensive player always has that last little split second to adjust to what the defender is doing. And if he's already in there, especially somebody like Holtzclaw with that low center of gravity, he's already a short guy out there. Just a couple of inches of his movement, it can appear to be head to head, and it could look intentional. It could have been unintentional.
Of course, I know they talk about football being a game of inches. Even with penalty calls like this, can be within inches. That's why these officials are taking their time to make sure that the right call is being made. Of course, Tony Ross and his crew really getting some workouts done today.
Oh yeah, out in that heat for sure. But you want to get this call right because you don't want to see a player get ejected if you're kind of iffy on it. You're not fully sure. But one thing we're sure of for the entirety of this broadcast, you're going to see a majority of running from this Alabama State offense. And you see how stingy their defense is, Mo. That keeps them in ball games and allows them to methodically work the ball on the offensive side and not have to play catch up and force them into a passing situation. 0 passing yards so far for Alabama State.
Ground and pound and then playing good defense. That's what Eddie Robinson Jr. and the staff want to do. Of course, we're waiting to hear about this penalty, but as of now, Florida A&M has 3 penalties for a total of 24 yards. Alabama State only 1 penalty for 5 yards.
And FAMU has been the more diverse offense, their ability to run and pass the ball. But here we are, tied at 7. Alabama State able to try to take advantage of a turnover. It really should be or could be, a 13-7 game. Take one more look here. I'm not going to say, I wouldn't say targeting on that. He really squared up with Holtzclaw. It looks like Holtzclaw was still going down with his movement at the last second, but we're going to see what the officials come up with. But Alabama State has left some points on the board. It could legitimately be a 13-7 game in favor of the Hornets on their homecoming. Mo, just the 4th annual homecoming, because the homecoming traditionally is the Turkey Day Classic, but of course 4 years ago they decided to have the regular, air quotes, homecoming, and started that thing out and had Jackson State in here and set an all-time record. And I think we're going to get the call here from the official. Well, he's going to have to get his mic on. And so they're going to overturn that, Mo. I just don't think they had the smoking gun evidence there to call targeting on that play.
So Corey Collier will remain in the game. Had it been targeted, he would have had to leave the game not only for this half, but the rest of the entire game, and would not be able to return until next week.
Well, he's going to live to play some more here, and that's good for FAMU, and that's good defense there. Good penetration into the backfield, and they stuffed the run there.
Eric Horn coming up with the tackle for loss on Holtzclaw on 3rd down, so that'll force a punting opportunity coming up for Alabama State.
Yeah, that really, that stoppage looked like it just kind of broke the momentum there that Alabama State had shipping down the field. So we're going to see their punt. I think their first punt of the day, right?
It will be the first punt of the day.
Let's see what the FAMU return game is working with here in Montgomery. Roll out to the left, and nice booming kick, Mo, and that's going to go in the end zone.
Into the end zone for a touchback. .651 to go in the second quarter. Alabama State and FAMU are tied at 7. We'll be right back.
Offensive line coach or offensive coordinator after coming over as the offensive line coach from LSU.
And he is a football coach. In our meeting the other day, everything was football tactic here, football speak there, coaches speak here.
Yeah, he is all about ball. Look, we got to work on he's got to get that call sheet a little closer to his mouth. You can't give away for all the lip readers out there, Mo. We got to work on that. It's got to muffle that completely.
Yeah, they hire people to actually like read lips in certain aspects of things.
I don't know. That might be out of the swag budget a little bit. I don't know.
Here's Richardson on second down, throws it over in the flats. Ball is caught.
Right at the last second, that thing was bobbled, just barely able to bring it in there, and that was Kevin Dean out of the backfield.
Alford coming up with the stop on the play. You're right. Dean bobbled it a couple of times, then caught it, then stepped out of bounds. Third down coming up now for Florida A&M. We're still tied at 7. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Coming up at halftime, we will hear from both bands as they are already making their way to the field.
Oh, it's stretch time. It is stretch time for the bands. It's going to be close to that first down marker there. Alabama State, good job stifling the run. And really, the FAMU offense out of their running backs had more success using them as receivers out in the flats. It's been a tough way to go, with the exception of 2 or 3 runs for that FAMU offense against that Alabama State defensive line.
Somerset right up the gut. He's able to move the sticks. First down for Florida A&M.
So it was close. They gave him a good spot there. So a new set of downs for FAMU. Just over 5 minutes to go until halftime.
Gassett in a short motion. Richardson rolling out, throws, and it goes off of the hands of his wide receiver. Ball intended for Quan Lee on that play. Second down coming up for Florida A&M.
You see FAMU likes to move that pocket for Richardson, the right-hander rolling out to his right side, looking, and that ball just a little low into the outside. Had his man open there, but didn't quite put it on the money for Lee.
Second down coming up for Florida A&M. As we mentioned, we're already seeing the bands make their way down for stretch time. Halftime is coming up. Halftime is showtime on the HBCU circuit. Here's the handoff to Somerset once again, and he'll pick up about 2 yards on the play. Caleb Alford coming up with the tackle on the play.
Yeah, Somerset getting to the left side there, and he spins off and picks up 2 yards. Another good job by the Alabama State defensive line, not allowing Somerset to get to that perimeter.
Third down and 6 for Florida A&M. Here's Richardson stepping back to pass, rolling out, trying to avoid the defender, and he's going to go down, and he is sacked. Rico Dozier coming up with the big sack, the Arkansas Pine Bluff transfer, who's been a leader on this defense.
That was a good job, but I tell you, Alabama State love it. He got away with holding downfield. Richardson was looking for some receivers. They were just manhandling FAMU on their routes. They don't get the call, and Alabama State gets the sack.
And it almost looked like Richardson was losing his footing as well, and Dozier just went ahead and just said, let me just end this play right here.
Very physical in the secondary for Alabama State. But if you can play physical and get away with it, of course, that's what you're going to do. And with FAMU not able to get anything open down the field.
Back deep for Alabama State is Robert McMinn. They call him Flash. And with a name like Flash, you should know why.
Well, pretty good field position. That ball's going to roll out right about the 27, 28-yard line. So, Mo, we had a lot of, momentum in terms of sustained drives and scoring, and at least scoring opportunities. But the punters getting a workout here the last couple of possessions.
Certainly, the punters getting a workout. And, of course, kickers were getting workouts, just couldn't get points on the board early on for Alabama State. There you see Coach Eddie Robinson Jr., the SWAC Hall of Famer. Played in the Super Bowl with the late, great Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans, one of the all-time Super Bowl games between the Titans and the greatest show on turf, St. Louis Rams. Here's Zach Sims looking for his first passing yards, and ball is going to fall incomplete. Alabama State's sideline wanting a flag. No flag is thrown. Robert McMinn was the intended wide receiver.
Well, they're going to fake the little jet sweep right there, and then rolling out, just not enough air on the ball, and off his back foot passing, and you could have got the flag there. Not turning around and looking for the ball. Wilson holds up the receiver there, but no flag call.
Second down for Alabama State. Man goes in motion. Here is the fake handoff, and Sims will be sacked in the backfield this time by Allen Smith Jr. of Florida A&M.
You're going to see Smith here just fire off the ball, and he comes in pretty much untouched. And he's going to take Sims down.
Third and long situation now coming up for Alabama State. If you're Coach Cozy, this is exactly what you wanted Alabama State's offense to be in a position to do.
Yeah, you want to put them in a passing situation. You see Sims there with the empty backfield. And we're going to get a timeout here to kind of think about it a little bit more.
Apparently, Coach Cozy saw something. Speaking of Cozy, there he is right there.
So if you're FAMU, and you just said it, Mo, you want Alabama State in an obvious passing situation. Still 0 passing yards, and we're just knocking on halftime with 2:43 left here in the second quarter.
Here's another thing to keep in mind, too, Tolly. Right now, Alabama State is 0 for 3 on third down conversions. And most of those third downs were somewhat third and short, third and manageable. This is now 3rd and 12 coming up for the Hornets.
So FAMU not exactly setting the world on fire with 89 passing yards, but Alabama State at 0. That would be interesting if we go into the second half. And that still sitting on that donut, only attempting 3 passes so far.
They're 0 for 3 on third down, 0 for 3 on passing as well. Let's see what Zach Sims is going to do on a third and long situation. Sims stepping up in the pocket, and he's going to be taken down. It'll be 4th down coming up for Alabama State. Tackle made on the last play by James Gardner Jr.
Hey, 3rd and long, 5 wide receivers. What is Alabama State's offense going to do? They're going to run. Good job of coverage there. And, you know, when you got a young quarterback who started the season 4th string, it's not going to be a lot of times he's going to throw receivers open. He's going to look for somebody who's wide open to make a little easy pass and catch. Didn't see anything there. Immediately tucked the ball and ran. And we're going to have our 3rd consecutive punt now, 2nd consecutive for Alabama State that sandwiches the FAMU punt.
All right, we've got our 2-minute timeout. We'll be right back.
Frankie Beverly and Mays, before I let go, we lost Frankie Beverly this year, Mo, but a big part of the HBCU band culture. All those songs by Frankie Beverly and Mays.
Jamari Gassett on the return, and he is tackled immediately
multiple flags.
Alabama State's Dwight Jacobs Jr., but as you mentioned, there are multiple flags on the play.
Had a lot of pushing and shoving and getting a little chippy out there, and I see at least 3 flags out there. And, you know, Mo, this is, to me, one of the underrated rivalries in the SWAC.
And here's the thing. A lot of people don't know that this is actually a rivalry until you check out the history books. So we'll get a block in the back on Goldie Lawrence coming up.
See it right there. That's pretty easy to call. It's going to back him up 10 yards. Flags are out. There was some more chippiness away from the ball. You were talking. You know, people think, oh, actually a lot closer than you think.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. This is between Tallahassee and Montgomery, Alabama, is not that far. And, you know, a long time ago, they used to be in the same conference back when they were members of the SIAC.
Yep, and throw in the fact that FAMU is the defending SWAC champions, not picked to finish first. Alabama State is this homecoming. There's lots of feels in the air with this one.
Here's a handoff up the middle, and making his presence known once again is Rico Dozier on the tackle.
I'll tell you that A gap has pretty much been closed here for FAMU. That's an Alabama State.
208 miles separates the cities of Montgomery, Alabama, and Tallahassee. So you're roughly looking at about a 3.5 hour drive.
I mean, that's the same thing for Atlanta. And you can really sense. Oh yeah, you can just hop over to Montgomery from Atlanta. You can pretty much do the same thing for Tallahassee.
Second down, Richardson with the pass, and it is caught by his big tight end, and he runs over a man. Carter Johnson with the catch. Rico Dozier coming up with the tackle.
And the tight end that time doing a good job. He's just going to come right across the middle and see the linebackers are pulled back. Gets right in front of him and takes advantage of that space. Good concept there by FAMU.
Here's Richardson under pressure, and he's going to be taken down for a sack right there.
Yeah, that defensive line has been giving a lot of pressure to FAMU. They like to move that pocket to the right side when they roll out sometimes, but that time right up the middle, the pressure coming off the right side and just right there, just blows right by the left.
Traquan Tom is running him down from his defensive end position. We're under 30 seconds to go in the half.
That was just a great job of speed against power by Alabama State, getting by the left tackle for that sack.
Looks like Florida A&M is going to let this time run down. And that is the end of the first half. Alabama State will get the ball to begin the second half, Tolly.
Well, Mo, everything went pretty much.
Wait.
Do have a flag.
We do have a flag. Hold on. Let's not. Look how far that flag is thrown. So, look, the ball is on like the.
Okay, so they had a delay of game, so they didn't snap the ball, so the play clock had run down. They're not going to try anything here, based upon their last decision. They don't want to put the ball at risk because obviously with just 4 seconds you have to throw something way downfield. So they'll just stab it here, probably just take a knee, I would imagine, or just a short run.
And Richardson will hand it off to his running back. Short run is right there. Somerset taken down. And now we are ending the first half. Alabama State 7, Florida A&M 7. Getting a little chippy, Tolly.
It's been chippy all game. And you see just the get-back coaches are out there saying, let's get off the field. Lots of running, literally 0 passing yards for Alabama State. And Mo, they've left 2 field goals. They should actually be up in this game, 13-7. FAMU able to chip away to move the ball downfield, but nothing big down the field in the passing game.
All right, we're going to take a short break here on halftime. When we return, we will hear from the marching bands. You're watching SWAC Football on ESPN. Once again, today's halftime band performance is brought to you by Pepsi. You're currently listening to the Florida A&M Marching 100 under the direction of Dr. Shelby R. Chippen. We're back with more Alabama State, the mighty Marching Hornets. And everyone is already on their feet to hear what Hornets will bring to the stage. They're under the direction of Dr. James Oliver. So let's take a listen to the ASU Mighty Marching Hornets. Once again, that's the Alabama State Mighty Marching Hornets under the direction of Dr. James Oliver. Today's halftime band performance is brought to you by Pepsi. We'll return with second half action between FAMU and Robert McMinn, deep for Alabama State. And the kickoff is hauled in. Over to the left side right there, this is Jalen Jones, and Jones will be tackled right around the 22-yard line.
Got a good block on the near side hash mark, but couldn't get it all the way to that edge to get on the outside. But Mo, we are coming off one phenomenal halftime. The mighty Marching Hornets closed it out, but the Marching 100, they did their thing as well, Mo. That was quite the halftime. I'm glad the fans got a chance to see some of that, and we definitely enjoyed it here in the booth.
Wonderful festivities going on here in Montgomery, Alabama, and as you mentioned, halftime was Showtime. The Marching 100 and the Mighty Marching Hornets, both receiving loud rounds of applauses.
And shout out to the Honeybees, who always close out the halftime for the Mighty Marching Hornets.
Here's Hoslaw taking the handoff. He almost goes down, spins out of that tackle, and then we'll get about 3 more yards on the play, picking up about 7 on the play.
You know, it's amazing. We see more of that in college football season. Mo, players, their ability to understand that the knees didn't touch, maintain their balance, that low center of gravity for Hoslaw gets a couple of extra yards.
Here's Zach Sims throwing it over to Jalen Jones, and those are the first passing yards of the day for Alabama State. It just comes on the second play of the second half as Jones will pick up about 6 on the play.
You know we were not going to go the entire afternoon. He really put a little extra air on that. If that had been more of a dart, would have had an opportunity to get his head and eyes upfield a little quicker. But nevertheless, we will not complain. Alabama State completes their first pass of the game here early in the third quarter.
Third down coming up for Alabama State. Here's the handoff to Hoslaw, and he will be short of the first down marker.
It's going to be a stall for the Alabama State offense, and that was pretty much the name of the game after those couple of field goal attempts that they missed. They really haven't been able to put together a solid drive since then, Mo. Lots of punting midway through that second quarter, and now to start the third quarter for the Alabama State offense.
James Gardner Jr. coming up with the tackle. So Alabama State starts the second half off 3 and out. Punting situation coming up now for the Hornets.
Get that rugby-style kick there, and FAMU's going to signal for the fair catch. And, you know, Mo, you have to keep the defense honest. If you cannot pass the ball, you can be effective in running, but eventually, defensive-minded coach, like Coach Colsey, they're going to, and his staff, they're going to dial it in. And it's going to be a little harder to run the ball when you can't pass it at all.
39-yard punt by Alabama State. Jamari Gassett coming up with the fair catch. So Florida A&M will begin their first drive of the second half on their own 31-yard line. Daniel Richardson coming back out to lead the offense.
Saw Gassett have success in some of those short out routes to the flat. See him in motion and look to see more from him here in the second half. But to open up the third quarter, FAMU's going to run the ball and pick up a couple of yards.
On the play, that is Thad Franklin coming up and picking up a few yards on first down. Brings up second down now for the Rattlers.
This Alabama State defense has been stout, over the top, not able to pick up any big yardage passing plays. That safety and strong safety back there roving around and just getting something in the flats, little short, shallow crossing routes, and that's pretty much been their run game.
Richardson with 2 running backs in the backfield, and he will hand it off to the second man through. Picks up about 2 yards on the play. Brings up third and very manageable coming up.
Just coming through that B gap, and there's that Alabama State defensive line waiting for you on the other side. This is going to be a crucial play call here. Can't get another 2-yard run. You're going to have to get something of the 5-yard variety at a minimum to safely get this first down. Let's see if FAMU will maybe roll that pocket out to the right again. You got 3 wide receivers up there.
Yes, sir. Richardson trips to the top side. Tied in to the near side, and he's going to throw it, and incomplete. Ball batted away by number 5, Caleb Alford. So a punting situation will come up for Florida A&M.
And good ball tracking ability here by Alford. You're going to see on the replay, Richardson spots his receiver, and Alford just closes, gets that right hand in there and knocks it away. Little trail technique. He's following behind, running the route along with the receiver, and closes in on the ball, and that's going to be incomplete.
3 and out for Alabama State. 3 and out now for Florida A&M. Punting situation comes on. Robert McMinn, the man rocking the pink shoes today. It is October, so, Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
That's always been a big thing here at Alabama State and across the SWAC, and he's going to get an opportunity to show us what those pink shoes can do, but just a couple of yards there in Alabama State. We talked about it earlier in the week with the coaches. They don't mind punting, Mo, because they can rely on their defense to give the ball right back to the offense.
We'll be right back with more action here in Montgomery. Across the conference today.
That big one in Mobile today.
Absolutely. And here's the handoff to Kinsey, and Kinsey picks up big yardage on the far side of the field. He'll be tackled by Kendall Bowler. 3rd and short coming up for Alabama State.
Big hit by Bowler, but that's exactly what you wanted if you're Alabama State. You're going to seal that left edge, get to the outside, no defender is there, and you want your secondary to have to make those tackles against the running back.
Alabama State going quick. They get it over to Kinsey once again, and Kinsey is going to move those chains.
Kinsey and Holsclaw didn't get the start. We've talked about this a couple times. Marcus Harris and A.J. Gates have been nicked up through the year, and they were back as your 1-2 running back punch, but had to bring that old thing back here. Kinsey and Holsclaw have been getting it done.
First down for Zach Sims. Sims, play action pass, and it's intercepted by Florida A&M. That is Decorian Wilson, and Wilson will take it all the way back into Alabama State territory.
And for the first time this season, Alabama State has their first defensive turnover of the year. It took them 5 games, but they step up and get it done. But that was a gift. The freshman quarterback, Mo, just look the receiver down and literally threw it right to the FAMU defender.
We asked Coach Cozy about that, and he said, look, that's not one thing we definitely want to hang our hat on as we go into the 5th game of the season. He was hoping that this opportunity would happen, and talk about a great opportunity at a great time for it to happen with Florida A&M.
Yeah, Wilson's job couldn't have been made any easier that time by Sims. Again, we talked about the freshman quarterback for Alabama State. You wanted him to make decisions, make reads, instead of just handing the ball off or running himself. And it paid off that time for FAMU.
Here's Daniel Richardson throwing it down the middle, and what an incredible grab right there by Ace Cobb. Touchdown, Florida A&M. Rattlers back on top.
And Cobb from the right side just runs that post route, and you saw the safety come down and make that play on the ball, and it was just a bad angle because either you're going to get the interception or there's going to be no one back there. And there was no one back there. He couldn't make the bat or the interception. He couldn't bat it away. And easy touchdown for FAMU.
One-handed grab by Cobb on the skinny post results in 6 for the Rattlers. Here's the extra point attempt. It is up, and it is good. So with 9:38 to play here in the 3rd quarter, Florida A&M now leads Alabama State 14-7. We'll be back with more SWAC football on ESPN.
Graphical stops in a minute, but his team riding the momentum. Mo, that was a good call for the big strike downfield on the heels of that interception. Mo is on the side of FAMU.
Yes, sir, it is. Touchback right there. Now, here's the success at all levels, of course. A part of the SWAC champions last year. He's also been in the CFL. He's also been in Canada with British Columbia, Valdosta State. He was an FSU grad assistant. And also, let's think about this. He played on that 1993 Florida State football team that won the championship with Charlie Ward and Warwick Dunn.
Wow, me and Coach Colsey in college at the same time. Me not at Florida State, but in 93, I would say a young scholar, but Charlie Ward should have had, before his time, should have had an NFL career.
Absolutely, absolutely. With all the ways the spread offenses are being run now within the NFL, no, I definitely thought he could have done some damage.
But worked out well as a New York Knickerbocker.
So here's Alabama State with a new quarterback in. And how about this? Great grab down the field for the Hornets. Coming up with the grab is number 17, Asa Gray.
I think Alabama State recognized they couldn't depend on the quarterback Sims making the reads that he did after throwing it right to the safety. And you see there, right over the shoulder, on that back shoulder there, and good pass.
Kareem Key in at quarterback right now. Originally came here to play a wide receiver, and he calls his own number. Scoots out of bounds. Looks like he'll have enough for some positive yards.
And Alabama State just needed a change of pace to their offense. They could not depend on running the ball 95% of the time. I'm just going to pulling that number out of the air. But only what? One of 5 on passing attempts. So they've got to mix it up a little bit as FAMU starts to regain and take over the momentum.
His key with a pass that is complete. Once again to his receiver. This time it's Jalen Jones picking up positive yards on the near side. Let's move those chains. Alabama State, first down.
And that changes the pace of the game. It changes the tempo. It puts FAMU back on their heels a little bit when you're able to throw the ball around the field a bit as opposed to constantly running the ball. And you see the end result. We now have Alabama State inside the red zone, knocking from the 13-yard line.
So now with Kareem Key playing quarterback, this is the 5th quarterback that Alabama State has had see action this season. Direct snap to Holslaw. Holslaw up the middle.
Just think about that, Mo. We're 5 games in, 5 quarterbacks. You had your first 2 starters go out to injury after the first game of the year, but since then it's been the committee of quarterbacks and who can get it done when Alabama State needs to mix it up, and Eddie Robinson has not hesitated.
Nayron Jenkins coming up with that tackle off of Holslaw. Second down, ball resting right around the 10-yard line.
Direct snap here.
Holslaw right up the middle, once again picks up positive yards. It'll be 3rd and short coming up for Alabama State. On the tackle, Nayron Jenkins for Florida A&M.
You see the direct snap, and it has to keep that FAMU defense honest when your new quarterback is now a former wide receiver. You don't know what Alabama State might call with that personnel.
Here's Kareem Key on a broken play. He's just going to head outside, tries to pick up some sort of yardage.
Well, his helmet comes off. He's going to have to sit out one play. So now they're going to have to make a decision. Do they go back to Sims here? Well, they're going to.
Actually, it's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, it's going to be the field goal there.
So, field goal unit coming up. Jenkins once again coming up with the last tackle. We've called his name a lot ever since he went out for that injury earlier in the game.
All right, so they're on the near hash from where we sit. Well, 0 for 2. Getting closer every time.
Kick is up, and it is true. So Alabama State cuts into Florida A&M's lead. It's now Rattlers 14, Hornets 10. We'll be back with more Swag Football on ESPN.
Quarterback has played for Alabama State.
Absolutely. On that last drive, Kareem Key, a guy who came here as a wide receiver, seeing action at the QB spot. Here's a short kick by Alabama State. It is fielded literally at the last second by Florida A&M. They'll take over first down and 10. You can help people affected by Hurricane Helene. Donate at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover. And watch special editions of ABC's Good Morning America tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, as they spotlight communities across the Southeast impacted by Hurricane Helene, as well as their recovery efforts.
So business has picked up in the third quarter. Alabama State taking the momentum back from FAMU, who had a big 2 plays. One was a key interception that saw the benching of Sims in this game. Then they followed that up with the skinny post touchdown, but Alabama State comes right back. Little jet sweep here.
Pop pass going over to Jamari Gassett, and Gassett's going to pick up positive yards for the Rattlers as they move from right to left on your television screen. Rico Dozier coming through with the tackle.
So a nice positive pickup there, and you see that play quickly takes off. It's going to come up just a couple of yards short, but you see both teams starting to expand the playbook a little bit here, Mo, and we might get some action that takes us away from that, I like to say 3 yards and a cloud of dust we were seeing earlier, but it's turf, so you don't get any dust. You get 3 yards and a cloud of rubber.
Rubber, yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. You know, rubber at some stadiums. If you go to Huntsville with Alabama A&M, Dr. Paul Bryant will tell you coconut husk.
Oh, okay, that's better. That's better. We got a flag on this play. Polyester is out on the field, though.
Holding on the offense, Florida A&M will be pushed back a number of yards.
What a great job they're doing in Alabama A&M. I know you cover that during your full-time job. There in Huntsville, man, the facilities on the rise, fresh new faces, and the coaching staff. It's an exciting time for those Bulldogs.
It is certainly an exciting time for the Bulldogs, but hey, we are here at Alabama State, so I don't want to go into a whole lot of
Mo,
stuff.
don't be afraid. Mo, we're talking to the TV audience. Come on, we're talking swag. We're talking swag. Look, we're just hyping up the Magic City. It'll be here before you know it.
It really will be in only 3 weeks. His Richardson's pass is intercepted. Dasheen Jackson coming through with the INT. That's another takeaway for the Alabama State defense as they swarm as one.
Richardson just a little late on the delivery there. Small window of opportunities. You see the receiver go right. He's got to release that ball before he did. Look, the safety just turns around and says, "Thank you very much."
Jackson read him the whole way. He was actually about to get out of his turn and then saw the ball coming and decided just to extend his whole entire body to make the grab and catch it at his highest point. Alabama State now takes over with great field position. And coming back out as the starting quarterback on this drive will be number 10. Once again, that is Kareem Key. Key is a 5'10", 165-pound QB/wide receiver from Adamsville, Alabama. He's a transfer from Point University. Here's Key. Key's going to go deep, and he's got a man deep down the field, and we've got some flags right there.
That ball was underthrown. Good job by the receiver to redirect and get under there, and he's going to pick up a little pass and interference as well. So this change of pace is really, really paying off for Alabama State.
And they're going to get T.J. Huggins on the pass interference play.
See it off to play action. We're already on the delivery. See that ball is coming up a little short. It's just going to be a jump ball there, but hands all over the receiver.
What's crazy is that Eric Horn almost found a way to actually make that catch, even with the the defensive back draped all over him.
Yeah, good. Doing a really good job of getting that head turn, spotting the ball, and repositioning himself. FAMU, though, getting to the left side there on the perimeter and shutting down that run.
DeCorian Wilson coming up with the tackle.
You see it there. You just get that penetration. Missed that first shoestring tackle, but Wilson is there. Well, I'll tell you, the energy in this third quarter has picked up from it was a punt fest there late, midway through the second quarter.
Yes, if you enjoy special teams and defense, that was you in the first half. Now we're getting a little offense here in the second half as Holslaw bounces it outside, and he'll pick up positive yardage for Alabama State. Jamil Sanders on the tackle for the Rattlers.
And really could have got a little more there if Jalen Jones, would have held that block a little longer. He released and was looking to go downfield, and that left the corner open to make that tackle.
Third down coming up for Alabama State. Remember, they are 1 of 7. 1 for 7 on third down conversions.
See the back in motion. He's going to get the ball, and
Holslaw takes the handoff. He's going to be close. And I'm talking about very, very close.
well, you're afraid to mention Alabama A&M during the broadcast. You should be afraid to stop saying that third down conversion. I think that might make the Alabama State fans a little more.
And here's a quick snap right here for our Alabama State, and they get a fourth down conversion.
You are well schooled in the broadcast jinx.
Look, Santoria Black and I had our fair share of broadcast jinx situations the first couple of weeks of the season. I'll tell you that.
Well, anytime you're working with Santoria, anything can happen.
That's true. Yeah, you and Santoria did a lot of good work for the SWAC basketball tournaments.
Oh boy, you get down there, boy. You do not mention the word overtime. You're trying to keep those games moving. As soon as we said overtime.
And of course, the SWAC will be in the city of Atlanta as Kinsey, powerful run right here, picks up about 4 yards on the play, brings up second down. Wilson once again with the tackle.
All right, you're going to see Kinsey here. He's going to take the ball. You see the hole. You see it right there. He goes right through and gets to that second level of the defense.
Running behind those eat first guys.
Yeah, excited about SWAC basketball coming to Atlanta, city of College Park, right there. I mean, Mo, you get off the plane, man, you are right there. You can shuttle right to the arena. It is going to be so convenient, so exciting. And basketball will be here before you know it.
Correct. Here's Key trying to throw it in the direction of his receiver. That will.
Good job of getting rid of that ball, because, boy, if he takes that sack, that would have been an 11-yard loss there. So he gets it close enough to the receiver. There's not going to be any intentional grounding, but better job of the penetration. Of course, we got to give our kudos there to the FAMU defensive line getting into that backfield.
Third down coming up for Alabama State.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Mo?
Third down.
And what's the conversion rate today?
Now 1 of 8.
All right.
1 for 8. Here's Key. He's going to throw it up top. Overthrown. Little contact over there. No flag call. Fourth down coming up for Alabama State.
They were asking for it on the Alabama State bench. They thought that kind of held the receiver's arm there. Let's take a look at it from up top and behind. You see
Kendall Bowler gets his hands, gets his head turned around, puts his hands on him.
I think we got a good no call letting them play here. Let's see if Alabama State can take advantage and get themselves another field goal. That didn't go so great in the first half, but a little better here.
Here's Brandon Gillum, field goal attempt. It is up.
Oh.
It doinks and it goes in.
No.
Oh,
no. It doinked and it went
doinked
down.
And it went down. Okay.
Not down, not doink and through, doink and down.
There was an official that threw his hands up. So the field goal is no good, and as you see the look on that cheerleader's face, like, man, come on, we got to get some points going. I know how he feels.
You know, Mo, I have this philosophy. I wonder if anybody out there agrees with me. I think it's so difficult to hit the upright. They should just, give you a point. Think about it. To hit the upright is harder than kicking it through.
Tyler, you make a very, very, very good point on that.
I mean, just give him 1 point. He actually hit the upright. You look how thin that is. And to get the ball to hit that, you see it a few times. But no one is going to pass that rule. Just one of my many wild theories in life.
Absolutely not. So following the missed field goal. Florida A&M will take over first down and 10. There's going to be a flag on the play. We have two guys in motion.
See, Alabama State on that play gave a different look pre-snap there. Had the safety Jackson coming down. Then right before the snap, he drops back in coverage, but we get the flag before that play goes underway. FAMU players yelling at the marching 100, don't play right now. We need to hear.
Here's the inside handoff for Florida A&M, and going nowhere on that one is Kelvin Dean. He's taken down by DeMarcus Cunningham and a host of Hornets, or swarm of Hornets, as they like to say around here.
Yeah, there was nothing going there on that edge, so this is going to be a key third down here. It's FAMU holding on to a 4-point lead. It's the third and long, obvious passing situation here. Alabama State would love to get the Rattlers off the field, take a punt, and get this ball back to their newfound offense here that's turning things up in the third quarter.
Approaching the 1-minute mark here in the third quarter. Here's Richardson, throws it over to Gassett, and Gassett is going nowhere. However, he is able to slip a few tackles, picks up some extra yardage, but it will not be enough for a first down.
Hey, it'll look great on Instagram, but it's not going to get you the first down. Great effort there. You can't fault him, but they had a ways to go, and there was nothing downfield. Richardson has to dump it out to the flat. You see him bounce off the tackle there, but plenty of defenders on that secondary help.
It's very important to wrap up, and that's the exact reason why, if you're a defender, you need to wrap up.
And with the one exception, that second touchdown, FAMU gets it going on that skinny post that we saw, but Alabama State has just been so good in their over-the-top defense, shutting things down for FAMU, really just taking a lot of things shallow and out in the flats.
All right, we got a timeout on the field, but we're going to keep it right here. 16 seconds to go in the third quarter. Florida A&M leading Alabama State 14-10. The first SWAC game of the year for the Rattlers. To be the second SWAC game for the Alabama State Hornets. Of course, FAMU was supposed to play Florida A&M last week, but Hurricane Helene made her way through Florida Panhandle and also into several other parts like Georgia and the Carolinas. We wish those individuals well in your recovery. I'm a South Louisiana native. I have been through my share of hurricanes, so I totally understand what's going on. But from me to you out there, just want to let you know it will get better. Just continue to stay safe, everyone out there in that situation.
Yeah, it came through Atlanta, man. A lot of the areas that were close by creeks, the Chattahoochee River, there in Buckhead in Atlanta. I mean, there was cars submerged. People had to be evacuated from their homes in flood-prone areas. A lot of rain dumped in Atlanta and other areas along the East Coast.
Third down coming up for Florida A&M. They are 5 of 9 on third down.
Right, the crowd fired up. They want to get them off the field. Again, short route. Can we get some yards after the catch? And we can, Mo, for a first down. And a little change to go with it.
Absolutely. That's Quan Lee making the grab out in the flats, then cutting it back across the field. And all of a sudden, Quan Lee is moving his team from right to left. With a Montgomery, Alabama, Florida A&M leading Alabama State 14-10. Tyler, you and I were talking about the fact that Alabama State has probably left 9 points off the board due to special teams.
Not probably. Absolutely. They left 9 points on there with 3 missed field goals. So that should have been more like 7-6-6 across the bottom of the screen there on their previous graphic. And it could be a 19-14 ball game. But only in horseshoes and grenades, my friends.
And, of course, Brandon Gilliam missing 3 field goals today, but he made 4 last week against Bethune-Cookman.
Hey, the win was on his side at Daytona Beach, but not here at homecoming for Alabama State.
Here's the inside handoff for Florida A&M, and going nowhere on that one was Somerset.
And we do a little recall. Remember, we talked about that Alabama State defense and how they were #1 in all those different categories in the SWAC, and you see right there, run defense. You're just not going to see people come out here and get 15, 20-yard runs against this Alabama State team.
Or against big number 96, Shaquem Fletcher, 6'2", 291 pounds from Tanner, Alabama, which is in North Alabama, right outside the Huntsville area. No, what a run right there by Somerset, lowering his shoulder. Looks like the ball popped out, but after the running back was down.
Yeah, good penetration by the nose guard, but he just came in on the other side of that A-gap, and then you see finding the hole and
Ooh, Cunningham
little
took the
shiver
big run from Somerset on that one.
Somerset's showing not only does he have the speed, but he has the power to finish.
Cunningham also showing you right there on that play why you always need to keep your feet driving as you go to make a play, because either you're going to make a tackle or get ran over. The latter happened in that play right there.
Hey, that's what Pete Richardson taught you at Southern, Mo.
Yes, sir. He and Coach Terrence Graves. Here's a little pop glass over here, too.
Oh, no.
And he is taken down immediately by Amon Scarborough. And we call Scarborough's name a lot in the first half. Haven't heard much from him in the second half, but comes up with a huge play on a tackle for loss.
You see the pursuit there from Scarborough, the safety. They wanted to get that thing to the outside here along the boundary, but that was not happening in Scarborough, giving FAMU the big loss.
Loss of 7 on the play. Second down and 17 coming up for Florida A&M. Daniel Richardson staying back in the shotgun. Draw play here. And once again, that's Somerset taking the handoff. They pick up a few yards on the play.
FAMU tried to keep Alabama State in misdirection there. They had that pocket rolling to the left, only for Richardson to quickly pull the draw there. The running back comes back to the right side. A couple of yards, but Alabama State there for the stop.
Rico Dozier coming up with that stop. Third down and 14 coming up for the Florida A&M Rattlers. Right now, Florida A&M is 6-10 on third down conversions. And Somerset is not on the field right now for Florida A&M after making solid plays. Here's the dump off down to number 23. That's Sad Franklin Jr. And Franklin will pick up some solid yards as he's tackled once again by Rico Dozier, but not enough to pick up a first down. But right now it looks like that FAMU offense is remaining on the field.
It's that decision time there, and looks like they're going to go for it. They're just sitting right at the 36-yard line, though.
Absolutely. It would be a 54-yard field goal. Florida A&M is 0 of 1 on fourth down conversions. Alabama State sidelines trying to get this crowd back into it. Coach Cozy says, let's take a timeout.
Wants to see the formation Alabama State's in, and they want to think about, make sure they're confident in the play that they're going to call. And Mo, this presents a situation on 4th and 3. Pivotal play here in the fourth quarter.
All right, we'll be right back following this timeout here on ESPN.
Fun, memories, friendship. We're here for all of it. Here for the big moments and the small ones too. We're here for unforgettable triumph, momentary misfortune, and the impromptu throwdown. We're out here each day, chasing something great. Call it adventure, call it play, we call it fun. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, Honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
When it looks different, feels different, it's because Tostitos Scoops taste different. At the intersection of innovation and an invitation to dip, Scoops give you more of what you love and doesn't apologize for it. Designed to be delicious. Designed to take on any life throws at you. Tostitos Scoops, designed to dip.
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Welcome back to Montgomery, Alabama. Today's SWAC scoreboard is brought to you by Pepsi. A number of conference games taking place today, Tolly.
Arkansas Pine Bluff, I see you tied up at 21 with Alcorn State. Jackson State, on the move early against Alabama A&M. Texas Southern rolling against Virginia Lynchburg. Tonight we've got Prairie View and Incarnate Word and Nicholas and Southern.
Here's Richardson on fourth down, and he'll get it over to Gassett, and it will be enough. It will be enough for a first down. Florida A&M converts on fourth down. Let's move those chains.
It was pretty close, but he got it in there. Again, just another short route. FAMU able to find success. More success. Those short passes just coming right across the middle to the outside, and more success there than they've found in the running game.
Keen Lewis coming up with the tackle on the play, but not before Florida A&M was able to get a first down. Here's an inside handoff for the Rattlers, and the running back goes nowhere on that one. That's Thad Franklin Jr. being tackled by James Burgess. Burgess was the first of the Hornets to swarm as one on that play.
So bringing up second down, you want to see something, Mo, that could maybe get you 6 or 7 yards here to find you third and short, if not a first down.
Janelle Brown also part of that swarm. Just saw him, a 6'3", 332 grad transfer. Played ball at Garden City Community College at one point. Here's an outside throw by Richardson off the mark. He and his wide receiver were definitely not on the same page as the receiver was running down the field.
The receiver ran a go route, and Richardson thought he was going to cut out to the flat. We really haven't seen that many down the field throws by FAMU. A few here in the game, but on the outside.
I mean, really the last down the field throw that we really saw Florida A&M do was the touchdown pass.
Yeah.
They gave them 14 points.
He was on the go route. He was like, there's no one around me. Where's the ball?
Somerset in the backfield with Richardson on this third down and long. Ball resting right around the 30-yard line. We've got 9:26 to play in regulation. Rattlers on top, 14-10 over Alabama State.
Comes that safety blitz. And then the shovel pass there. And
shovel pass inside going to Somerset. And Somerset looks to pick up enough yardage for a first down. And there is a flag in the backfield.
It's probably going to be roughing the passer. Yeah, hit him after.
We have to distance to the goal.
Hey, absolutely. Hit the quarterback Richardson late. Didn't think it was really targeting there because I didn't use the crown of his helmet, but it's good to take the time to get it right in case that was a situation, because it's definitely something that you don't want in the game for player safety.
Yes, sir. Now, Dolly, if you're Alabama State's defense, how important is it to keep Florida A&M out of the end zone on this drive?
Well, you don't want to go down 21-10. That's 2 scores, and that's exactly what happens with the run down the left side for the touchdown.
The pop pass going over to Goldie Lawrence. He's into the end zone for Florida A&M. Rattlers extend their lead to 10 with the extra point coming up.
That's one thing you talk about this Alabama State offense. Will they be able to generate points quickly enough? We saw some excitement in the third quarter, a change up from that dominant run game. They will make their mark and maybe the best 9 minutes of the year if they can get a couple of scores up here late in the game.
On for the extra point is Cameron Gillis. Here's the kick. It is up, and it is true.
All right.
Wait, we got a flag on the play.
So if this stands, that's going to make it 11. And it will as the penalty is declined. So now, got an 11-point game. You got to get 2 touchdowns because a touchdown and just a field goal won't do it unless you get a field goal and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
And look, Eddie Robinson Jr. is not an analytics guy, so he knows exactly what he needs to tell his team right now.
Let's score, and let's do it quickly as we can, within the confines of our offense. Let's get a stop, and then let's come and score again.
There it is. And there is the Florida A&M 100. They've got a lot to play for right now with their team on top by 11 points, right around the 9-minute mark to go in regulation.
All right, Mo, tell me the song. Come on, Mo, I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, it's the butt.
Yes. You scared me, Mo.
Because I got to really, really listen. It's not like we have the windows open in front of us.
Mo, you got too much hair in your ears if you couldn't get that one, man. The band. All right, tell me the band.
EU.
There you go, Mo. All right. You keep your card for another week, Mo. Good job, buddy.
Here's a return right here by McMinn, and he is hit hard near the 30-yard line.
Let me tell you.
Jaron Fox coming through with the stop on the kick return.
Me and my friends in the 7th grade wearing biker shorts to school. 1980 something, 86, 87, 86,
Something like that, yeah.
Something right along there.
Yep, school days.
Yes, sir.
One of the most instrumental media elements to showcase HBCUs. By the one and only Spike Lee. And a whole lot of other people in there.
Oh, go back and watch that, man. You will see some future stars that were in that movie. All right, we're going to have some movement there on the Alabama State side.
Yeah, there's so many stars, and a lot of people went from that movie and moved over to a different world.
Mm-hmm.
Got a false start on Alabama State. Of course, you know, Jasmine Guy was in there, went on to be Whitley Gilbert.
Yes.
And then Kadeem Hardison went on to be Dwayne Wayne.
Dwayne. Konnichiwa.
Here's a handoff inside to Daquan Kinsey. Kinsey keeps his feet moving, picks up about 2 on the play. Second down coming up. James Ash with the tackle.
You get a little older and your kids recognize Kadeem Hardison from the dad and Casey Undercover.
Absolutely.
Not quite at his different world playing weight, but still.
Well, you know, there was a quote unquote crossover with Jasmine
Mo,
Guy.
I saw the episode. I have young children. And there were several fourth wall references to a different world. Loved it.
Here's Key under pressure. He's going to throw it upfield and overthrows his man. He had Scarborough wide open, but he just put a little too much on that pass.
Oh, God. He had the great move to really just juke the defender there, but did not connect on the pass. But you have to give it up for his ability to come in the game. You really didn't think that Key was going to get the call from the starter, Zach Sims, but the offense kind of stagnated there in the third quarter, and he's been a shot in the arm, but he's really going to earn his scholarship here.
Here's Key stepping back to pass, throwing it deep down the field, and it'll be intercepted by Florida A&M. That'll be T.J. Huggins coming up with the INT.
Yeah, just threw up a jump ball into the defense right there. You see the arm strength is there, but not the accuracy. And on that jump ball, FAMU, their second easy interception. Mo, they came into this game with no defensive takeovers. No problem with that today.
We'll be back with more swag. Still to Howard, 31-23 as members of the MEAC.
That's been a nice streak. They've been getting things done. Of course, they've played up in competition and played some FBS programs on the road, obviously. But when you look at, equal competition from the MEAC and the SWAC, the HBCU programs since 2018, the last time they lost on the road, and right now looking pretty good in this road game, Mo, with 7:22 to go. Clock moving up by 11 with the ball.
And what we mean by road game is the fact that the other team is the actual home team of the stadium. I know somebody back there saying, well,
it's on the ground.
Well, there's a fumble.
Well, good fortune quickly overturned another fumble by FAMU, and it looks like Alabama State recovered that, but they got to get to the bottom of the scrum and figure it out.
Yeah, it looks like it's a DB trying to fight an offensive lineman for the ball. Definitely not an easy thing to do.
And they're going to say Alabama State ball. I'm pretty sure. Let's take a
Alabama State football right there. Keen Lewis.
Oh, got to get that thing high and tight, man. Get both hands on that, just holding it in the right hand there, and that was slapped away, and Alabama State comes away with the football.
And Keen Lewis was in a fight with big offensive lineman Ricky Taylor for that ball. I mean, look, just give you a comparison real quick. Ricky Taylor goes a cool 6'1", 285 pounds. But Alabama State back on the attack, trying to get some points on the board. Here's here's Holsclaw right there, but he is tackled immediately, going down in the hands of James Gardner Jr. Second down coming up for Alabama State.
So if you come right here, Mo, you can get a score, even if it only results in a field goal. Anything that you can get quickly, because you're going to give the ball back to FAMU if you can score, and you want to get them in a 3-and-out situation or get them off the field as quickly as possible. So whatever you can get here points-wise is going to be a positive for Alabama State, because you're going to need 2 scores.
Absolutely, and Holsclaw is taken down in the backfield for a loss. So it'll be third down coming up for the Hornets. Jamil Sanders coming from the backside to make the tackle. Also, Holsclaw loses his helmet, so he's going to have to leave the game for at least one play.
Yep. You hate to see that when the defender just pulls your helmet off. It wasn't knocked off during the course of the play, but the rule is the rule there. And you see the inability to accurately pass the ball. We'll see if Alabama State can get something here.
Here's Kareem Key trying to make something happen, and Key is just going to take off, ask for some blocks downfield, and I think he's got enough for a first down.
Yeah, he didn't pull the trigger. He had Asa Gregg was open, but he wanted to use him as a blocker instead of a receiver. You see here is eventually going to scramble out to the right. You'll see Gregg up top, just outside of the camera shot, but he was open there. You see him laying the block. And Alabama State receivers very good at blocking.
That is only Alabama State's second third down conversion of the entire evening. Here's Key with the play action fake. Rolling out to his right. He's going to fire one down the field and just out of the reaches of his wide receiver. He was trying to get the ball over to number 84, Bakari Daly, on the play.
And you saw him out of the play action, and he had plenty of time. He was waiting for that receiver to come across to the corner, not able to deliver. And Key could have, with the opportunity there, he could have actually scrambled and picked up more yardage, but he knew that play was developing, just didn't put it on the money.
I actually thought that's what he was going to do again and take off. Second down and 10. Key will hand it off to Holsclaw, and he is met by a pair of rattlers led by number 23, Allen Smith Jr. Nowhere to go for Holsclaw. Third down once again coming up for Alabama State as we approach the 5-minute mark in regulation.
And that's what happens when you're so run dependent and you're down late in the game. That clock starts to work against you because it continues to move. They're not catching balls and getting out of bounds and stopping the clock. And they need 2 scores in this game. They're going to have to get something quickly here.
Here's Kareem Key. He's going to throw it towards the end zone. Little contact, no flag call. In the fence over there would be Corey Collier. Jalen Jones was the intended wide receiver on that play. 4th down now coming up for Alabama State.
All right, so this is a field goal they're going to need. You see the play here, going to the corner of the end zone, and that ball lands out of bounds. So the accuracy, again, not there. This is going to be the field goal to the game. If they make it, they're still in it. If they miss it here, does not look good for Alabama State. Need this one to make it a 1-score game.
Here's the kick. It's up, and it is good for Brandon Gilliam. So with 4:40 to go in regulation, our new score, Florida A&M 21, Alabama State 13. First make of the day for Gilliam. He's missed on 3 prior earlier after knocking in 4 last week against Bethune-Cookman down at Daytona Beach.
So if you really look at those 9 points, I'm not great at math, Bo, but had they been there, doesn't mean the game would have flowed the same exact way, those makes instead of those misses. But if you just want to play that game, it could be 22-21 right now.
All right, that drive went 7 plays for 12 yards and took 2 minutes and 25 seconds off the clock.
All right, so that was 2 minutes and 25 seconds after getting a fumble with favorable field position. So think about the amount of time that it might take Alabama State to move the ball down the field further. Now we're just at 4:40 left in the game. Most important thing for Alabama State, either another turnover or 3 and out. Do not let FAMU run the clock here.
And here's a short kick and a fair catch called by Levante Somerset. And you will take over around the 20-yard line.
FAMU, this is the time to really milk that clock, run the ball, get a couple of first downs. You see Richardson there. Picked up a lot of that yardage on short routes, 20 of 30, 3 touchdowns, 196 yards. Holtzclaw getting it done, 20 attempts, 138 yards on the afternoon.
Holtzclaw has been their bread and butter on that Alabama State offense. But clearly, we're now seeing that Alabama State has to find a way to move the ball down the field through the air. That could be big if they get the ball back once again. The defense got a hold true this time. And on this play right here, here is the handoff to Thad Franklin Jr. And Franklin is met by Rico Dozier.
FAMU's not going to be in any rush to get back to the line of scrimmage. They're not looking for any tempo here. They simply want the clock to move.
About 2 yards picked up on that play, Tolly.
And if you're Alabama State, you just got to be ready at the snap of the ball to fire off. Get FAMU down as quickly as possible if it's another run play. And try to give your offense one more chance to make some homecoming magic on this afternoon.
Alabama State with 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout in their back pocket.
And that's a blessing there if you're Alabama State. The snap a little high. Richardson couldn't hold it. That throws off the timing of that play. And Franklin Jr. goes down, a loss of 4.
Yes, sir. Franklin Jr. did go down, but, you always got to credit somebody with a tackle, so they're going to go ahead and give it to Jakeem Fletcher, young man from Tanner, Alabama. Here's an interesting thing. Tanner High School's mascot is the Rattlers.
So Tanner, their mascot, they're Rattlers.
They're the Rattlers.
Okay.
But Fletcher is playing for the Hornets. So he went from being a Rattler to a Hornet, and now he's playing the Rattlers.
Well, he's going to hope that these Rattlers don't convert on 3rd down. So
3rd and 11 coming up for Richardson. And they're going to keep it on the ground. And Thad Franklin gets very close.
It's going to depend on the spot here.
Scarborough coming up with the tackle.
They're going to move it back just a little bit. So
He's up.
Interesting choice for FAMU. If you're going to be two yards, maybe 2 yards and an inch short, it's fourth down. If you don't convert here, you're giving Alabama State great field position.
Huge fourth down coming up. And would not be surprised if Coach Cozy lets this clock wind down and then take a timeout. He's standing right next to one of the officials on the far side. And he does.
Yeah, Mo, if I'm FAMU, I'm not going to go for it here because you're really deep. I'm going to trust my defense and also the inability for Alabama State to move the ball down the field quickly. And you're up by 8, so you'd have to give up a quick touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Or, you could just go 7 and maybe onside kick depending on the timing. But this is what makes it interesting. What coaches are willing to gamble? Which coaches are kind of willing to just play it conservative? But we know that both teams have faith and confidence in their defense, so it'll be interesting to see, and it looks like FAMU is going to punt it away here.
Absolutely. FAMU sending out the punting unit. It'll be Trey Wilholt. Nope. Scratch that. It'll be Gunnar Trott.
So if Alabama State is able to get a return here, getting positive field position will help an offense that doesn't move quickly.
McMinn back deep for Alabama State. The man they call Flash hauls it in, and he is taken down quickly on the play by Jeremiah Pruitt.
Getting the work done on special teams.
A grad transfer tight end from Atlanta. He came from Colorado State. 40-yard punt on the play. So with 2:07 to go, Alabama State will be moving from right to left on our television screen. The big question is, can they get their offense to get down the field and score some points?
Well, it took them 2+ minutes on their previous drive just to get a field goal, and they were on the plus side over the 50-yard line. So you're gonna have to see some passes here out of this offense, Mo.
Kareem Key still in the backfield at QB, and
he
loses the ball, and look at that right there. Florida A&M returns it for a touchdown, scoop and score. Nayron Jenkins. And that might just do it for the Rattlers.
And the Marching 100 playing Alabama State song. You see the turnover chain. I thought we were in for some potential for an exciting finish. I didn't see that one happening on that play, but FAMU takes advantage of the opportunity. The snap mishandled, put it on the turf, the scoop and the score, and FAMU pretty much will send the Alabama State homecoming crowd into the night for other festivities.
Here's Gillis coming on for the extra point attempt. And the kick is up, and it is good. So 1:58 to go in regulation. Florida A&M now on top. Oh, wait, we got a flag.
Yeah, I think there was some vocabulary words shared out there along with a little shoving.
28-13 is over the 1,000-yard mark.
Oh, yeah, he was knocking on 1,000 heading into the game.
So 1,000 yards, 5 games into the season, and here's a deep kick, and it'll be a touchback.
And we continue to see players getting into it. No flags here, but
remember, this is a rivalry. There's a lot of guys that know each other, especially with Alabama State having a lot of Florida guys on their team. So, a lot of these young men have crossed paths, probably have been in recruiting battles against each other as well. I'm sure these coaches know each other from the recruiting battles just because of the proximity of the schools.
Absolutely. They know each other from looking at that transfer portal, too.
That's true, too. That transfer portal is something else, man. Here's Kareem Key. He's going to dump it off to Holslaw. Holslaw's got a few blockers out in front of him. He'll pick up about 8 yards on the play. Second down coming up for Alabama State.
Yeah, we were talking to the coaches this week, and Coach Robinson said, one of the alums asked him, well, we played so many quarterbacks. Can't you just go to the portal and get a new one? You can't do that during the season.
And Key right here will take it off and pick up the first down. Gets down really, really quick.
So the question for, Alabama State, Sims gets pulled in this game after throwing that interception right to the safety who sat on the ball. Doesn't play after that. 5 quarterbacks have played for Alabama State, and you wonder who they're going to go with and decide to cultivate moving forward.
Here's Key firing a pass across the middle. Hanks his man out the dry, incomplete. Ball separated by DeCorian Wilson. Second down coming up. Tom, let's take a look back at this schedule for Alabama State. It's been a favorable schedule, not just because of the opponents, but also the locations. As you take a look at things coming up for Alabama State, of course, they'll be back home next week against Mississippi Valley. And then following that, they'll take on Alcorn State down. Well, excuse me. They'll take on Alabama A&M down in Birmingham. Let me not skip over that game in the Magic City Classic. Then they'll take on Alcorn down in the Port City Classic down in Mobile. And then really their remaining road game that's not in the Yellowhammer State is at Grambling on November the 9th. Then they've got Jackson State, Prairie View, and Tuskegee all right here at the new ASU Stadium. So Alabama State fans don't really have to travel far for the remaining of the schedule with the exception of Grambling.
Talk about Tuskegee being back on the calendar consistently now with the Turkey Day Classic, and you look at the schedule there that Mo was talking about and where you can find it. A couple of ESPN Plus games, the ESPNU for Tuskegee and the SWAC Digital Network next week. I was just kind of scrolling through some of the top attendance here at the new ASU Stadium, and you look at the top 5. Number 1 is Jackson State, but after that, it's Tuskegee, 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 Tuskegee. Always a favorable matchup for the fans. What had been considered the homecoming here at Alabama State, this is now the 4th year of the homecoming October version, if you will, but fans love to show up to see Tuskegee.
And that guy, Eddie Robinson Jr., says that clearly you can still kind of get the feel that the staff and even the students are trying to still get used to just saying like, oh, homecoming's in the middle of the year now and not during, Thanksgiving week against Tuskegee. Now, I will say this. I'm pretty sure for the older alums, they probably still consider that Turkey Day Classic as their homecoming. But at least for the students,
yeah,
Alabama State is definitely having their own homecoming.
This is the young folks' homecoming.
There you go.
Tuskegee Turkey Day Classic, that's the OG homecoming.
Yes, sir.
I came to that one year, Mo, and let me tell you, that was a tough call to tell the family, I'm going to shoot a little football today on Thanksgiving. I said, yeah, I'll be right back.
When I worked down here in Montgomery for a couple of years, Alabama State was taking on Stillman in the Turkey Day Classic. It was really like the first couple of years when Tuskegee decided to opt out of the contract and, try their shot at the Division II playoffs. And during certain years, they did, make it over there.
Boy,
But at the same time, I just look at it like this. Turkey Day Classic is Alabama State against Tuskegee. I know there's been some years where it hasn't been.
And Tuskegee realized, you know what? We can't control that Division II playoff committee.
Right, so they were reviewing the scene of that last play resulting in targeting, and no, it did not. So second down coming up for Alabama State. But yeah, as you mentioned, Turkey Day Classic has had other opponents for Alabama State, not named Tuskegee. But yeah, when you look at it, it is Tuskegee, Alabama State. And it'll be a game you'll see right here on the ESPN family of networks at the end of the regular season. Here's Key. Stepping up out of the pocket, he's going to just take off and get what he can before stepping out of bounds
And Key, look, he might have a shot to be the quarterback moving forward. You're going to get a couple more plays here. You want him to build some confidence. You know, you're not going to score enough to win here, but you want to see him get some completions, see some accuracy and timing, maybe have some success, because who knows what we're going to do moving forward for Alabama State, but he's going to evade the pressure there and get out of bounds.
Slipping out of the pressure once again. Yeah, offense coordinator Chris Mornett telling us earlier this week that Key would be in the lineup. No guarantee that he was actually going to see the action, but clearly different circumstances come up, and that's why he's seeing the action. And if you're keeping count at home, he is now the 5th guy to take snaps as a quarterback for Alabama State this year.
In 5 games.
In 5 games. And Nayron Jenkins, the guy who had the scoop and score for the touchdown, pushed Key out of bounds just on that last play. 4th down coming up for Alabama State. Here's Key scrambling, trying to get out of harm's way. Almost tripped up, and he's not going to get to the 1st down marker. He is taken down by big number 94, James Gardner Jr. Turnover on downs for Alabama State, so Florida A&M will come on, probably take a knee, and walk out of this homecoming game against Alabama State victorious.
You know, people might just check out the box score or see some quick highlights of this game, Mo. They'll say, oh, okay, yeah, FAMU ran over Alabama State. Alabama State missed 3 field goals, had a key turnover late in this game with the potential, not only a turnover, but a scoop and score turnover for FAMU. This game a lot closer than the final score is going to indicate as we take one final knee here.
And there's Richardson with the knee.
No, we'll get one more. I'm sorry.
So Florida A&M will go to 1-0 in conference play. Alabama State will fall to 1-1.
Well, it was interesting, Mo. A lot of running early. We saw some passing. That 3rd quarter was pretty exciting, but it was turnovers.